Hey kids, my name is Amy. I am a shellfish biologist and I work at Pacific Shellfish Institute right here in Olympia. What do you think I study? That's right, shellfish! I study things like these mussels that just fell off the dock here, things like oysters and clams. And while I study shellfish, I probably spend more time studying their habitat or where they live. And they live right here, right behind me in Puget Sound. So I want to make sure that the water is super clean and healthy for them and for all the animals that call Puget Sound their home. One thing I hate to find in the water is garbage or trash. Garbage, whether it's on land or in the water, can be super dangerous for animals. They can get all tangled up in it, or sometimes they can even mistake it for food. Yuck! Now, the good news is that researchers and people like you are becoming so much more aware of plastic pollution. We're learning what types of plastic make their way into the water, and we're learning where that plastic goes once it gets in the water. That way, we can race into action to do something about it. One thing we can do is pick up the garbage before it gets into the ocean. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a trash cleanup? Have you seen people picking up trash? They can be super fun. First of all, you get to use cool things like these tongs and these grabbers, and you never know what you're gonna find on a cleanup. For example, I've been on cleanups and I have found things like dog leashes, this flower pot, this coffee mug, and my personal favorite, the moose. I call it my moose-scot and it goes with me on all my cleanups. But the best thing about a cleanup is that you pick up the garbage and you get it off the ground so that it can't make its way into the ocean. Now, every year, there's something called the International Coastal Cleanup. Now, this is a cleanup that happens all over the entire world. In fact, last year, 1 million people volunteered and picked up over 20 million pounds of garbage. That is the same weight as 10, can you see that? Oh, it's upside down, as 10 blue whales. Super impressive. But you don't have to wait. October, that's a long ways away, right? And you don't have to wait until October to participate in your own cleanup. In fact, I was walking the dog this morning and I saw some trash that I would really like to pick up because it's ugly and I don't want it getting into the creek and flowing all the way out to Puget Sound. So let's go track it down. What do I need for a cleanup? Well, for a cleanup, you need a data sheet so we can be like scientists and collect information about the types of garbage that we pick up. You need a safety vest so that people can see you and you don't get hit by a car. That would be horrible. You need a bucket to put your garbage in and some gloves or grabbers, my personal favorite. All right, let's go. Okay, so here we are in my neighborhood, and this morning I saw these objects. I'm going to go ahead and pick them up. We have a plastic bottle. We have a can. Ooh. Looks like we have another can and a straw, so I can go throw these away now.
Oh, real quick. I know we're out here doing a trash cleanup, but don't forget, we're still being scientists and collecting data. You can graph this data. This is called a bar chart because of these bars here. And you can see that we have picked up the most cans so far. Now, it seems kind of silly to graph such a small amount of data, but if we did a huge cleanup, then this kind of information is really helpful when we try to figure out a cleanup plan for our beach or our park or our neighborhood. Okay.
Wait a minute. Some of these things I think you can recycle. Do you guys know what recycling is? Recycling is really cool because you can take old objects and you can turn them into new objects, and it's super good for the planet. So when you're doing a cleanup, sometimes you'll find some items, if they're clean enough, that you can recycle. So this I can recycle. Plastic bottles you can recycle, and there's one other item that you might find on a cleanup that you can recycle, and that's glass bottles. But you can't put this in your curbside bin. You have to keep it out separately because it can break. All right. I'm so relieved that trash is off the ground and it won't blow into this ditch here, because this ditch goes all the way to the Deschutes River and then it flows right on out to Puget Sound.
Okay, are you ready to do your own cleanup right from the comfort of your home? I have an activity here, and it's a picture of a beach that I drew. And what I want you to do is to go ahead and cut out the images with some scissors. And it looks like I have a cup with a straw. I have a 6-pack holder. If you haven't seen one of those, it's made out of plastic and it holds like 6 cans together. And I have a sea star, and I have a bottle and a can, and a jellyfish, and a crab. So now take all these pictures and you can go ahead and you can use a glue stick and glue them. I couldn't find one. I have some tape though. And go ahead and place all of these pictures where they belong on the beach. So I'm gonna stick my crab on the beach. I suppose it could be in the water too, huh? They like to be in the water. And I also, you'll notice there is a garbage can and a recycle bin. Now, do you remember what 3 types of objects you might find on a cleanup that you can actually recycle? That's right. We've got cans, plastic bottles, and even some glass bottles. Be careful with the glass. Don't touch the glass if it's broken. And you can only recycle them if they're super clean. Okay. And once you go ahead and place them either in the garbage can, the recycle bin, or on the beach, then you can go ahead and color it. And here's some ones that I've already colored, but everyone is going to look a little bit different, right? And here's something fun. Why don't you go ahead and add one more thing to your beach that should be there, and one more thing that shouldn't be there, and then stick it in the garbage can or the recycle bin. So I think I'm going to draw maybe a sea otter in my ocean. Kind of looks like a sea otter. And I'm going to draw some food wrappers and stick them in the garbage can. Well, I hope you enjoyed your activity, and I hope you learned that beach cleanups can be super fun, and they're a great way to keep Puget Sound clean and healthy for all the animals that live there. Also, if you find any really cute slugs on your bottles, be sure to let them go in the backyard before you recycle your bottle. Bye now.